Hello everyone, I am Deep Patel from the Department of Mechanical Engineering. As you all know, we were discussing about the chapter number 4, that is the properties of steam. And in the properties of steam, we have already understand what is the meaning of wet steam, what is the meaning of dry steam, and what is the meaning of superheated steam. Okay, and we know all the equations of the wet steam, dry steam, and the superheating steam. We know that if we want to measure the enthalpy at saturation condition, then we can directly get it from the steam table. Okay, so if we have the value of pressure and temperature, then we can directly get the value of enthalpy at the saturation condition. Okay, so the value of HF and Hg we can directly get from the steam table. Also we can get the value of HFG, that is the how much amount of heat is required to convert 100% water into the 100% steam. That heat is known as HFG, and that we can get directly from the steam table. Okay. Also, which are the information we can get from the steam table? One, that is the specific volume. So specific volume at the saturation condition we can get from the steam table. So the value of Vf and Vg we can get from the steam table. Okay, that is the second thing. Okay, third, we can measure or we can get the temperature of at the saturation condition from the steam table. Okay, so T saturated we can measure with the help of given pressure from the steam table. Okay, so these are the information that we can get from the steam table. So in this lecture we will do some numerical problems with the help of steam table. Okay, so the first example is determine the enthalpy and the internal energy of the steam, okay, at given condition. Now what is the given condition? That is 1 kilogram of steam. So mass of the steam is constant 1 kilogram, and the pressure is given, that is the 12 bar. So here all the values will be at 12 bar pressure. So in the steam table you have to see this 12 bar line. So at the 12 bar what the information we can get? Okay, so at the 12 bar we can get the value of HF and Vf. Also we can get the value of Hg and Vg. We can get the value of T saturated, so saturation temperature, and we can get the value of HFG. Okay. So what we have to find here? We have to find enthalpy and internal energy when the dryness fraction of steam is at 0.8. Second, when the steam is dry saturated, and third, when the steam is superheated at 280 degrees Celsius. So here three type of steam is given. First is the wet steam, the dryness fraction is 0.8. Second is the dry saturated steam where the dryness fraction is 1, and third is the superheated steam where the superheating temperature is given, that is 280 degree Celsius. Okay, so we have to find enthalpy and internal energy. So first of all, let us write the given data. Here CPS is given as 2.1. So pressure is 12 bar, and from the 12 bar and T superheated we can get the value from the steam table is equals to HF is equals to 798.43 kilojoule per kilogram. Second, we can get the value of HFG as 1984.3 kilojoule per kg. Third, we can find the value of Vg at pressure 12 bar from the steam table. This is the direct values that we can get from the steam table is equals to Vg is equals to 0.1632 kilojoule per kilogram, and T saturated we can get 187.96 degree Celsius. Okay, so these are the data we can get from the steam table. Okay. Now let us calculate the enthalpy and internal energy. So the first condition is wet steam. There the dryness fraction is 0.8. So first of all let us calculate the enthalpy of wet steam. We know the equation of enthalpy of wet steam is equals to H wet is equals to HF plus X HFG. Now HF and HFG we can get from the steam table at pressure equals to 12 bar. So we can write here X equals to 0.8. So if we put all the values, then we can get the enthalpy of wet steam is equals to 2385.87 kilojoule per kilogram. Okay. Now second, we have to find the internal energy. We know what is the meaning of internal energy. Internal energy is equals to enthalpy minus the flow work. Okay, so H weight minus flow work is equals to P into V. So here you can write H weight minus P into V weight. Okay. So we can write enthalpy of wet steam that we have already find the value, that is 2385.87. Now pressure is already given, that is the 12 bar, X that is the zero point 0.8, and Vg we can directly find from the steam table. So if we put all the values, then we can get the internal energy of the wet steam as 2229.198 kilojoule per kilogram. Okay, so our first answer is came that the enthalpy is equals to 2385 and the internal energy is 2229.198 kilojoule per kilogram. Okay, this is our first answer. Now the same procedure we have to do for the dry steam and for the superheated steam. So let us start the calculations. So second is the dry steam. Okay, so enthalpy of the dry steam directly we can get from the steam table that the enthalpy of dry steam is equals to Hg. So directly we can write Hg is equals to 2782.7 kilojoule per kilogram. This value directly we can get from the steam table, that you have to remember. Now second is the internal energy. Internal energy is the enthalpy minus flow work. So if we put all the value that we can directly get from the steam table, then we can write H dry minus P into Vg. Vg directly we can get from the steam table. We can get the value as 2586.86 kilojoule per kilogram. Okay, so this is the value of internal energy of the wet steam. Now our third calculation is the superheated steam. Now superheated steam we can write as enthalpy of superheated steam is equals to Hg plus Cps in bracket T superheated minus T saturated. Now what the data we have? Hg, that is directly we can get from the steam table, and also you can see from the dry steam, that is 2782.7, that is the value of Hg. So directly we can put here. Second Cps, Cps is already given, that is 2.1. Now third is the T superheated and the T saturated. So the value of T saturated we can get from the steam table. T superheated is already given, that is the 280. So if we put all the value, then we can get the value of enthalpy. Okay. So the value of enthalpy of the superheated steam will be 2975.98 kilojoule per kilogram. So this is the value of enthalpy for the superheated steam. Okay. Next, the specific volume. So the specific volume of the superheated steam can be write as V saturated into T superheated upon T saturated. Okay, so if we put all the data that is already given, 0.1962 meter cube per kg superheated volume we can find. Okay, now we can put the value in the internal energy equation, that the internal energy equals to enthalpy minus flow work. So H superheated minus P into V superheated. Now we have value of enthalpy of superheated steam and we have the specific volume for the superheated steam. Then if we put all the values, then we can get the internal energy of the superheated steam as 2740.54 kilojoule per kilogram. Okay, so this is the final value of internal energy of superheated steam. So in this numerical we have discussed about the internal energy and the enthalpy of the three types of different steam. First we have calculated for the wet steam, second for the dry steam, and third for the superheated steam. Okay. Now what is the second example? In the second example they said that determine the amount of heat required to produce 7 kg of steam at the pressure 6 bar and the temperature of 250 degrees Celsius from the water 35 degrees Celsius. Now what they have given? Here the value is given mass. Mass is equals to 7 kg and this mass is of the water. Now initially water is at 35 degrees Celsius. Okay. So this is our initial condition that the 7 kg of water is already we have and the temperature of water is 35 degrees Celsius. Now we have to generate the steam from this water. Okay. So 7 kg 35 degrees Celsius water will be heat up. After that it will convert into the dry steam. After that it will convert into the superheated steam. And the superheating temperature is already given, that is the 250. Okay, so we have to convert water into the superheated steam and we have to find the how much amount of heat is required to convert this water into the superheating steam. Okay. So here the data is given. Take Cp is equals to 2.1 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. So here pressure is 6 bar, mass is 7 kilogram, TW, that is given temperature of water 35 degrees Celsius, temperature of steam 250 degrees Celsius. Okay. So with the help of steam table, we can get the value at P equals to 6 bar, that the HF is equals to 670.4, HFG is 2085 kilojoule per kilogram, T saturated, that is 158.8 degrees Celsius. Now we are going to calculate the enthalpy of water. So initially what is the amount of energy which is stored into the water? So initially we are going to calculate the enthalpy. So we know that the enthalpy of the water we can write as CPW in bracket TW minus 0. Okay, and the value of CPW is 4.186 and TW, that is already we have 35 minus 0 degree Celsius. So if we put all the values, then we can get the enthalpy of water is equals to 146.56 kilojoule per kilogram. Now what is the meaning of this value? Here we know that already the enthalpy of water at initial condition is 146.56 kilojoule per kilogram. Okay, now from this enthalpy we have to heat up it and we have to convert it into the superheating condition. Okay, so if we have the enthalpy at superheating condition, then we can say that at superheating condition this much an amount of energy is stored into the steam. Okay, and 146.56 kilojoule per kilogram energy is already stored in the water. So now what happens, if we subtract these two energies, then we can understand that how much amount of heat is required to convert this water to this steam. Okay, so we have to second calculate the enthalpy of superheating steam. So the enthalpy of superheating steam we can find with the help of this equation, that is Hg plus CPS in bracket T superheated minus T saturated. Okay. So with all the values we can write that H superheated is 2946.92 kilojoule per kilogram. Now initially water was at 146 kilojoule per kilogram, and after getting the some amount of heat it is reached in the superheating condition, and the superheating condition the energy it have 2946.92 kilojoule per kilogram. Okay, so this is our final energy and this is our initial energy. So if we subtract both these, then we can get how much energy we have supplied. Okay, so how much amount of the heat will be supplied we can get from this equation, H superheated minus H initial. Okay, so we can write here the amount of heat supplied is equals to H superheated minus H of water, okay, into the total mass, that is of 7 kilogram. So if we put both the values, then we can get the amount of heat supply is equals to 19602.52 kilojoule. Okay, so this is the final amount of heat supply. Okay, so in this numerical we have understand that how we can calculate the heat supply if we want to convert water into the steam. Okay, now let's calculate next numerical. This is the numerical of combined separating and throttling calorimeter. So already we have understand what is the application of throttling calorimeter or the combined calorimeter. Okay, so now let us calculate the numerical of combined separating and throttling calorimeter. Okay, we know that separating and throttling calorimeter is used to measure the dryness fraction. Okay, and here we have to find the quality of steam. Okay, so with the help of this numerical you can easily understand that how we can use separating and throttling calorimeter to measure the dryness fraction. Okay, so what the data already given. First is given the initial pressure is 10 bar, second the final pressure is 1 bar, water separated that is 1.5 kilogram. So here water which was separated, the value that is given 1.5 kilogram. Next, the steam which is discharged from the throttling calorimeter, that is 20 kilogram, and the temperature of the steam after throttling it is 120 degrees Celsius. We know that after throttling the steam is converted into the superheating steam. So we can understand that after throttling the temperature is 120 degrees Celsius, means this is the superheating temperature. Okay, so this you have to understand. Now the value of CPS is given, that is 2.1 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin. Okay, so this is the given data. Pressure is 10 bar. So at the 10 bar we can measure the value from the steam table. mass of water and mass of steam is given. Mass of water is 1.5 and mass of steam is 20. So with the help of these two data, we can get the value of dryness fraction in the separating calorimeter, that X equals to ms upon Nw plus ms. So directly we can get the value of dryness fraction for the separating calorimeter. Then we have to calculate for the throttling calorimeter, and after combining these two X value, so X1 and X2, after multiplying both the value, we can get the final value of dryness fraction of the separating and throttling calorimeter. Okay. So here the after throttling pressure is given 1 bar, and after throttling the temperature is 120 degrees Celsius, and as we have already discussed, this temperature is the superheating temperature. Okay. So first of all, the dryness fraction measured by the separating calorimeter, that we can easily measure, that is X1 is equals to ms upon Mw plus ms. Okay. So we can get X1 equals to 0.93. Okay. This value directly we can measure from the given data. Now second, we have to measure the dryness fraction for the superheating condition or for the throttling calorimeter. So from the steam table we can write at pressure P equals to 10 bar all the values, that is HF1 762.6 kilojoule per kilogram, HFG1 that is 2013.6 kilojoule per kilogram. Next, at pressure 1 bar we can write T saturated 99.6 degrees Celsius and Hg2 that is 2675.4 kilojoule per kilogram. Okay. So enthalpy of the throttling calorimeter we can find with this help, with this equation, that the enthalpy of before throttling equals to enthalpy of after throttling. So we can write before throttling the steam was wet, so we can write HF1 plus X HFG1. After throttling it is converted into the superheating steam, so we can write Hg2 plus Cps T superheated minus T saturated. So from this we can get the value of X2 is equals to 0.97. Okay. So for the separating calorimeter, the dryness fraction, that is X1 0.93, and for the separate throttling calorimeter the value of X2 is equals to 0.97. So we have both the value. Now from the combined calorimeter we can understand that if we multiply both the value, then we can measure the final value of the dryness fraction for the separating and throttling calorimeter. Okay. So the final quality of the dry steam is equals to X is equals to X1 into X2. So we can measure here X is equals to 0.9021. So this is the value of final dryness fraction. So with the help of this final dryness fraction we can measure the quality of steam. Okay. So this is how we can use the combined separating and throttling calorimeter. Okay. So in this lecture we have calculated three different numerical. In the first numerical, we have understand how the internal energy and enthalpy of the wet steam, dry steam and superheating steam is calculated. Second, we have understand how we can convert the water into the superheated steam by giving particular amount of the heat. And third, we have understand how we can calculate the quality of steam with the help of separating and throttling calorimeter. Okay. So this is what all about today's lecture. Thank you for today.